Good morning. So, I received this word from the Lord about 2 days ago, and I was sleeping, and I had a vision, and in the vision was a father and a mother, but the father was very overprotective over their twin girls. They were twin girls. They were wearing red, and the father was very overprotective to the extent that he wanted them to have, bulletproof vests before leaving the house. And the mother was quite amused at this, at the overprotectiveness of the father. And, she clearly couldn't understand, and she humored him, of course, but she really couldn't understand why he was so protective. And then the Lord took me to the book of Judges. Judges chapter 12 or 13. I'll just put it on the screen, or in the caption rather, where Manoah's wife, Samson's mom, was receiving instructions from the angel of the Lord on how to take care of Samson. Right, so at first it was only Manoah that received those instructions. While she's pregnant, she mustn't drink as well. She mustn't, eat any unclean thing. So I looked at, those verses and I read through them. And then later on, Manoah also himself asks the angel, how do they raise the child? And he's given the same instructions. So the Lord was saying to me that your spouse or the other parent of your promise may not understand, but you will need to make them understand, right? That they need to keep quiet about your promise. They need to protect your promise. Okay? They need to protect your marriage. All right? And they can't go around speaking about it anyhow. It needs to stay under wraps, because the best time that the enemy can kill something is in its infancy. Okay? So while your union is still new, you both need to keep it under wraps. All right? So God will speak to you like the angel of the Lord spoke to Samson's mom, right? And it's then up to you to then show or convince your spouse that you need to keep your union under wraps until God says it is time, okay, to reveal it. Now, I was asking myself this morning, why is God emphasizing this? And because I thought I understood that, okay, things need to stay under wraps for a while. But He's really emphasizing that it's important that it stays under wraps for a while. It's important that you don't go around telling everybody social media updates. The fewer people that know at first about your marriage, the better. Okay? So it's up to you to let your husband know that he needs to keep everything under wraps. You're proud of him, has nothing to do with, who he is or anything like that. It's just that in its young stage, in its baby stage, you need to keep your union under wraps. Okay? Only a few people, and you need to know. All right, so it's very important. That's why God is emphasizing it so much, because the best time to kill something, when the enemy couldn't kill Jesus or Moses while they were in their mother's tummies, in their mother's wombs, rather, tummies. Sounds so childish. In their mother's womb, right? But then what he did was he sought all the boy children that were born in their time had to die, because he didn't know which child it was. But at that stage, Moses couldn't even defend himself. You understand? Jesus couldn't even defend himself. He was a baby. Now, babies are very, very vulnerable. Okay? Babies are vulnerable. So the best time to take something out, or snuff something out, is when it's in its baby stage. All right? So you need to keep that in mind, and you need to let your spouse know as well that it's imperative that you keep the details of your lives and your union under wraps, so that the enemy doesn't know what to attack. Okay, if you've been on this journey a while, you will know that there are people that monitor. Okay, there are people whose assignment it is, the spirit that is in them wants you to spill the beans. There are people that come to you and you can't help but speak until the Lord teaches you and you learn to keep your mouth shut. Okay, that sounded so rude. But you learn to keep quiet about what the Lord is doing. Okay, so please be mindful of that, and please also convince the other person who's in this promise or who has this promise, who will be part of this promise with you, to keep quiet. All right, I'll see you, or you'll see me in the next video. Now, during the wilderness, because my wilderness was a time of being shut in, of being hidden in a completely different province. All right, and I remember towards the end, of it, I remember having a dream, and in this dream I was trying to leave, but there were these two birds. They were like pigeons. There were these two pigeons, and they were like, kind of like standing there, to prevent me and my daughter from going out. And then when I looked back, there was another set of pigeons that were guarding what looks like a little house or a little enclosure on the ground that had a baby laughing dove in it. Okay, and there was yet another set of pigeons that were closer to the laughing dove that were protecting it. So it was still small, at that stage where the feathers aren't all the way out. It was at that stage, and the little laughing dove kept peeking, because it was curious about its surroundings. But as it looked like it wanted to go out, there was security within where it was, and there was also security without, as well as security for it by the gate. So it was really, really protected and safely guarded, right? Because there is a time where it'll be safe and it'll be a fully fledged bird, and the pied crow can't do anything about it. I'm mentioning the pied crow specifically because many years ago, 2016, 2017, maybe even 2018, there was a laughing dove couple that nested on our fireplace, or braai place rather, not fireplace, and it had two eggs in there. They both hatched. Did they? Yeah, I think one hatched, and then one day the nest was empty. Some big bird had come and taken their baby bird, and each day its feathers were coming in. But at that stage it was still vulnerable when they left it to go look for food. So when a big bird came, it ate it up, and those birds could not believe. They spent days circling the apartment trying to check in kitchen windows whether or not I had taken their bird. And it wasn't me, it was some bigger bird that had come and done it.